跟你说，你出了这个门，你就别回来。
In this piece, you have a moment where a daughter is witnessing a moment of weakness with her mother when her father chooses to leave. And we see a shift in this relationship as she gets older. You have a single mother, there are things she's not able to do for her daughter. And the older her daughter gets, the harder it is to hide the realities of life from her in the way that she could as a child. She could make everything better. She could talk about dreams and fairy tales and wishing things on the moon as a child, but I think the older that she gets, the realization sinks in for her daughter that this is all just fantasies and that life is actually not turning out the way I thought it would. There was a lot of subtlety in this piece that I thought was done really well. For example, the hand on her mom's at dinner, where you have the man saying, "Don't worry, I will help," get her into the school. It almost insinuates that, for her to get something from him, she's going to have to give something to him. And it also insinuates what she's willing to do as a mother. The hands on the wheel of the car as she gets in, it's almost as she wants to say something to her daughter to explain that, but she stops herself. I just get a sense that this piece is really about how far a mother is willing to go for her daughter to be able to dream, and then also seeing that her daughter doesn't fully appreciate that or fully understands the sacrifice of her mother.
It had a good sort of grounded and relatable, compassionate human approach, I thought, with the family setting and sort of the pressures of growing up from multiple, not just from the young girl's perspective, but sort of a sense of identity from the people around her as well, and sort of a journey into figuring out what matters, what you take power from, what you would have put your faith into. I grew up watching Sailor Moon in a certain capacity, so I found it to be very interesting. The juxtaposition of transforming as a superhero, as well as transforming in your life, trying to grow and evolve, and trying to sort of unlock your own powers. I thought was an interesting subtext throughout the entire piece that was matched with that concept. So I thought it was well acted. It had a good sense of intimate directional approach, a cinematography that I ended up enjoying, and I just thought that the characters felt realistic, and that's what made them compelling.
The relationship between mother and daughter here, and the relationship we have with financial responsibility. When you have a child, it's expensive. And here we have this family that breaks down because of the financial stressors that come with life. And when we're young, we have this innocence factor, this dream like experience, which we see happen through the little girl as she yearns to be like Sailor Moon, only to find later on in life that sometimes it doesn't live up to the fantasy and sometimes things get hard. And in seeing that, we see there is a certain demeanor of distress between the relationship between the two. Always having this fear of money in the back of the mother's mind, in a sense, puts a barrier between the relationship that she could potentially have with her daughter.
Her innocence and like coping strategy for this being, I'm going to wish on the moon, was so sweet and innocent. But as we see that strategy coming along with her into adulthood, we see that it's really no longer serving her. And she's starting to realize, things aren't as easy as a wish on a moon. And the things that she's asking for, her mother can't provide as easily as takeout dinner. And there is a resentment that ends up happening. And the mother is struggling and wants to provide, but it's just not possible. And then when we see her talking to the man about getting accepted into this program, etc., we see, okay, how far is she willing to go to make this happen? And we see that she is willing to do what it takes to make her daughter happy. And her daughter doesn't necessarily appreciate that or understand the struggle. But yeah, I thought that this film was just really well done. There was a lot said without saying it.
You see this relationship between a mother and daughter being unfold. It starts with the daughter watching Sailor Moon, who the heroine is like the epitome of purity and good doer. At the same time, the little girl's parents just break up behind her. Now the mom has to navigate taking care of her daughter all on her own, which she does so presumably successfully until the little girl gets to a certain point in her life, being that of a teenager where she wants certain things like going to study abroad for college that the mother cannot financially afford. In the beginning, the mother tells the daughter that only the piously, meaning the strongly religious, get a blessing by the moon if they believe in its power. But you see the little girl going out to the window and staring outside, and it felt like she wanted more, that she was being a little bit selfish, which may be why that the mother didn't get anything financially, that the family didn't get any financial blessing from the moon. The sound was the strongest part, especially in terms of the background noises, like the fire or the carbon monoxide alarm going off. It needed a battery change. The mother may not have been able to afford batteries to replace it. It gave that poverty feeling, and a lot of people can relate to that.
The daughter and who she becomes when she grows up. She's got dreams, imagination, she connects everything with Sailor Moon and her power, but then growing up, she wants to do more and more, and then she wants to escape her house and trying to surpass the trauma of her father leaving just her and her mom alone. But in the end, she realized that probably escaping is not a solution. I think there was a great connection between the two main characters, between the mother and the daughter, the different actors playing the daughter in the different stages of life. I think it was the conflict between them, it was very well developed, and there was fantastic performances by all the actors involved in the movie.
I think it did a great job of showing the characters' perspectives on life, and really leaving space for the audience to draw their own conclusions from the exploration of the theme between the two characters.